What up, geeks and dudes and dudettes? My name is DV Geek and welcome to my Suicide Squad movie review. Alright guys, so I seen Suicide Squad last night and I just want to get straight into talking about it. So any of you guys are unfamiliar with Suicide Squad, it is a group of villains brought together by an organization to save the world. Now that sounds completely ridiculous, and that is what this movie was supposed to be. Absolutely outrageous, ridiculous, and it's meant to blow your mind. Now, the first thing I want to say about this movie, guys, coming into the start of the movie, to say the first 20 minutes to half an hour was quite good. It was quite entertaining. There was a bit of character development of Deadshot and Harley Quinn and how they became who they were in the movie, which was very, very interesting, and it kept me interested as well. There was good character development for Deadshot, especially Deadshot. They really focused on Deadshot in this movie, and I think Will Smith did an absolutely fantastic job in delivering a Deadshot to the big screen for the DC cinematic universe. They also focused a lot on his family and his story and his background in this movie. They paid extra attention to Deadshot in this movie, which I have no problem with whatsoever, because obviously Will Smith is one of the biggest actors in this movie, so they were obviously going to give him a big role to play in this. And in my opinion, I think Deadshot was kind of the leader of the Suicide Squad throughout this entire movie, which was nice to see as well. The development of this character throughout the movie was very nice to see, and it was very well done in my opinion. And Will Smith delivered a great performance as playing Deadshot, and I can't fault his character anywhere in this movie. Also guys, we've got character development with Harley Quinn, who is played by Margot Robbie, and she done an absolutely brilliant job. She is absolutely gorgeous, she's stunning, and she portrayed the character of Harley Quinn really, really well in this movie. I mean, she literally took the animated series of Harley Quinn's character and brought it to the DC cinematic universe onto the big screen, and she really made it her own as well. I mean, she was quirky, she was funny, she was crazy, and she was just downright outrageous throughout the movie, but she was a very, very likable character, and she always made me smile. There was one particular character that really surprised me in this movie that I didn't think was going to be that brilliant in this movie, and it was Jay Courtney, who played Boomerang. And believe it or not guys, Boomerang is probably my favourite character throughout this movie. Now I know that's a ridiculous thing to say because his character doesn't have as much significance as the rest of the characters in this movie, like Deadshot, Harley Quinn and the Joker. But he done a brilliant job. He really made me laugh. There was some laugh out loud moments with him and his character as Boomerang. He kind of kept the humour going in this movie. And that is another thing that was good about this movie guys. It wasn't as serious or dark as nitty gritty as the Batman vs Superman movie was. There was a bit of lightheartedness. There was a few jokes thrown around in there. It wasn't all the way serious, so you would laugh watching this movie as well, which was really nice, and it was really different for the DC cinematic universe. Another thing that I liked about this movie guys was Ben Affleck's appearance as the Batman. Like I said before in Batman vs Superman, I think Ben Affleck does an absolutely brilliant Batman, and I can't wait to see him in the solo movie. It's going to be fantastic, I know it is. Also guys, we got a sneak peek, spoiler alert, of The Flash when it shows a scene of Captain Boomerang robbing a safe, and the Flash comes in and stops him in his tracks, which was really cool to see, and his suit is awesome. Now there was one character that everybody was looking forward to seeing in this movie, and it's very, very obvious who that is, and it's Jared Leto's Joker. And you guys probably want to know what my opinion was on Jared Leto's Joker, and it is this. He done a really, really good job of making the Joker his own, and that is exactly what he did. Don't go in here expecting a Joker that you're familiar with from the comics or from the animated series or from previous movies or previous portrayals of the character. Jared Leto has literally made this character his own. It is a completely different take on the Joker, but I have to say I really did like it. It was kind of more of a gangster kind of feel, kind of crazy, sadistic, and we all know the Joker is always crazy and sadistic, but he really took it to a step further of insanity, and it was really nice to see. Jared Leto's portrayal of the Joker was absolutely phenomenal, and it was really, really nice to see. But the only problem I have in this movie, there wasn't enough of it. So now we're going to go straight to the cons of this movie guys, and I tell you exactly what I didn't like about this movie. So guys, I'm going to start off by saying what I said there earlier. The Joker was barely in this movie guys, which was kind of disappointing for a lot of people, especially how they really sold him in marketing, as in at the advertisement. Like, they really showed the Joker as the face of the Suicide Squad. They kind of teased us a lot about him and his performance, and it was extremely hyped. It was extremely highly anticipated by the fans to see Jared Leto's performance as the Joker. And don't get me wrong, we do see Jared Leto's performance in this movie, but very, very little. I mean, he doesn't even have that many lines in this movie. sometimes one or two words or maybe a catchphrase now and again and a certain appearance here and there just to make sense of the story. But other than that, that is all we got of the Joker, which was very, very disappointing for me, and it was also very disappointing for the fans as well. And I can understand why some of the ratings wouldn't be great for this movie. It's simply because Jared Leto's Joker was one of the most highly anticipated characters to come onto the big screen, because we all know how well respected Jared Leto is as an actor and how well he can portray a character when he wants to be. And the Joker being such a high-end character in the DC universe, it was really, really disappointing not to get enough of him. That is one of the major cons of this movie, and I can understand why people wouldn't like it that way. Another thing about this movie, guys, the rest of the members of the Suicide Squad, their character development was very, very rushed. I mean, we barely got any backgrounds on any of the characters. I mean, there was one particular character that they'd done a sort of rushed background on, and that was Diablo, played by Jay Hernandez. And I think he done a good job as Diablo, but we didn't get to see much of him. He was kind of just thrown in there into the mix. And he's got the power of fire and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I did like his performance in this, but I don't think we got enough of him to become a likable character. Now, guys, I'm gonna be talking about something that's maybe a little bit of a spoiler for this movie. So if you don't want to hear who the main villain of this movie was, then you can either stop watching the video or watch it at a later time after you see the movie. So I'm gonna start talking about spoilers right now. You ready? Okay, so the main villain of this movie, guys, which was kind of unexpected, and I didn't think she was going to be the main villain of this movie, is actually Enchantress, who's played by Cara Delevingne. Now, I liked her look. I think she looked really cool when she turned into Enchantress. It was very different. It wasn't something that you would see in your typical comic book movie. There were certain scenes where her character that seemed a little bit off-putting for me. It kind of made me raise an eyebrow now and again. Was the simple fact that when she was doing some sort of witchcraft, or I don't know what she was doing, she was creating something to take over the world. Obviously she is the main villain. The Suicide Squad are brought together to take her down, and it was just all very, very messy how it was done. I mean, it was just one scene where everything was fine, next thing the whole city is like destroyed, and there was just lights and flashing images everywhere and just debris falling here and there, and it just looked like the whole world was just an apocalypse, which was kind of out of nowhere for me. And it was kind of like, okay, so how did this all happen so quickly? Like, I know she's a witch and she's capable of exterminating the human race or whatever, and I think that was her main motive in this entire movie. But there were certain scenes that just didn't look the part for me. I mean, there was a certain scene where she was talking directly to the Suicide Squad, and she was doing like some sort of a hula dance, and it was kind of weird, and the visual effects behind her weren't exactly fantastic either. I think they could have done without that. I don't think they needed to do that, and I don't know what the whole purpose of this kind of hula dance she was doing. That was a bit off-putting as well. You couldn't really take her character seriously. We really wanted a villain that would really stand out from the Suicide Squad, because the Suicide Squad, let's face it, is a team of villains. So we wanted someone that was much, much worse than them for villains to take down the villain. But we just got a witch doing some weird stuff, and I honestly, a lot of the fans would be confused, and a lot of viewers would be confused watching this movie as well, because it's kind of off-putting, and it does kind of steer you off track on what the hell is going on. Another thing I want to talk about, guys, that there was obviously scenes in this movie that was chopped off. There was a lot of chopping and cutting and stuff in this movie, and you could really tell by that, because some of the storytelling was rushed, others wasn't even put into place, characters were being gotten rid of just for the sake of no use for them anymore, and the story itself was a little bit rushed as well. I mean, like I said before, I did like the character development of Deadshot and Harley Quinn, but I didn't like the fact that the Joker was barely in it. I mean, that would be a big disappointment for anybody. So anyway, guys, that's my overall review of the movie. So the pros, we have nice character development of Deadshot, excellent character development of Harley Quinn, and played very well by Margot Robbie, I have to say. Also, great scenes of the Joker with the little scenes that he's in, but he does a great job, and Jared Leto's Joker is different, and I can't wait to see more of him. Captain Boomerang, who brings the lightheartedness to the movie, the humor, and the laugh out loud moments into this movie as well, which is really nice. Great appearance of Ben Affleck as Batman, and also Ezra Miller as the Flash, which was really nice to see as well. So now we've got the cons, guys. So basically we've got poor character development from the rest of the Suicide Squad, a lot of chopped up editing in this movie, which kind of made the story a little bit off-putting. A very poor supervillain at the end, which made very little sense to me, and it kind of confuses the audience as well. Poor CGI in some moments with Enchantress that I didn't like at all, and they really could have just done without it. And finally, 5, the major thing that's wrong with this movie is there wasn't enough Jared Leto, there wasn't enough Joker, and that is a reason why a lot of people would be disappointed in watching this movie, which is a big bummer for me, because I was really looking forward to seeing Jared Leto as a Joker. Now, don't get me wrong, I know this film is Suicide Squad. I mean, if we wanted to see the Joker all the time, they would have called the movie The Joker. But they could have done a little bit more with Jared Leto's Joker. I mean, there was no reason why they couldn't have put more into the story or make him actually meet the Suicide Squad or something like that. That would have been nice to see, but we didn't get it, which was a big disappointment. I can understand where they would lose votes in percentage of ratings and stuff like that in this movie. But my overall opinion of this movie, guys, is quite good. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I came out of the cinema thinking that this was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It kept me smiling, and it was nice to see all these characters meshed together on the big screen. But like I said, guys, just the few things that I've mentioned, the few cons in this movie would really bring it down a lot, and especially by big fans of the DC world, it can really have a disappointment in that regard. But other than that, guys, I did enjoy it. So guys, my rating of this movie is 3 Bs out of 5, which is a decent rating. It's not the best rating, but it's not a worse rating either. Like I said, guys, this kind of movie, it kind of depends on what kind of person you are, what kind of fan you are. You're going to come in here, there's mixed reviews on this movie, and that is my review of this movie. But anyway, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed my review. If you did, please give it a like, a thumbs up, that'd be super awesome. And if you guys want to stick around, or you want to see some future reviews that I have on future movies that are coming out this year, then you know what to do. Sting that subscribe button, and that'd be super awesome also. And as always, dudes, stay geeky, stay cool, be awesome, and be happy. I'll see you dudes in my next video! Apparently it really hurts, and that would suck. I wouldn't like that now at all. But I would like to look at it. Let's see what's in here. Oh my god, I am literally blown away. I have no words to describe how much I'm enjoying this game right now. Whoa! Oh my god, I got a jump scare!